Hello and welcome to the final part of this Russia 2018 preview, where we're going to be looking at the best young players to watch at this year's tournament from Group H. I'm Tom, you may know me from the FM show, and I'm joined for one final time by Steve from Scouting Football. How you doing, mate?
Doing brilliantly, thank you.
Good stuff. So before we jump in to look at these young talents, let's talk about Football Manager 2018 and the fact that it's on sale right now at up to 66% off. There's literally no better time to jump in and start that save and manage some of these talents while you've got the summer of football to watch at the same time. And don't forget to check out the Football Manager Instagram as well, where we're going to be giving away prizes throughout the tournament. We've given some absolute belters so far, and there's going to be plenty more to come on there as well. So get involved, and who knows, maybe you could bag a little something special for the summer. So it's about time we jumped into looking at the players in Group H, so let's get started. So we're going to start with Arkadiusz Milik. Now, this is a player who obviously has been on the scene since he was a teenager, has now established himself as one of Europe's brightest young prospects up front, and there's every chance that he's going to transfer that skill set across onto the international stage, probably with a big role to play for his national side if they're going to have any hopes of making it to the latter stages.
Yeah, he's another player that's struggled with injury over the last couple of years. That's kind of stunted his growth. Had a couple of ACLs that he's now recovered from. But yeah, he's really, really important at international level for his country. Again, as that foil type of role, he plays at club level normally as an out-and-out striker, but internationally he's really good at creating, as well as being a natural goal scorer, but tucking in, creating, and using some clever movement to piece the attack together. So he's going to be really, really important in bringing the way that his country play to a fore and trying to get in on goal and create.
Yeah, I mean, you said about how he can bring others into play. His off the ball stats here in FM are 15 for off the ball, so it shows that he's capable of influencing the play around him as well, and moving into those spaces to open up chances for his teammates as well. He's got 17 for finishing. I think says it all really. He knows where the goal is.
Which is quite funny because a lot of the criticism of him last international tournament was some of the chances he missed. But since moving to Italy, he's really honed in on that, and now he's really deadly finisher in front of goal.
Yeah, indeed, and it's going to be massively important for them. It's such a tight group. I mean, it's one of the toughest groups to call, really, even who's going to finish top of that group. So if he can find the back of the net a few times for his country, it's going to be a massive help to them if they're going to progress into the latter stages. And when you're looking at his other stats here, he's obviously decent physically. He's quite an imposing figure as well. He's got decent balance, though, for such an imposing figure. 17 for balance, 15 for first touch. So he does bring a bit of everything. He's to me, he's always seemed like a classic centre forward type.
Just a good all rounder.
Exactly,
really good all-rounder up front.
And I think every nation needs someone like that if they're gonna have the chance of making it into those latter stages of the tournament, and he'd be hoping definitely to make some sort of impact. So it's not just Milik that this nation can call upon to try and help them progress through from what is a very, very tough group. But we also got his club teammate, PIOTR ZIELINSKI. Now, how important do you think that will be, that partnership that they formed at club level? Do you reckon they can carry that across easily onto the international stage, or do you reckon they'll play slightly different roles?
Well, I think ZIELINSKI will probably play a similar role to what he plays at club level. He will be kind of a box-to-box type of play, very technically sound, isn't too outlandish, gets the job done, but always really efficiently.
Yeah.
And can get forward and have some sort of impact there, depending on what his role is, how often he's tasked to get forward. He can have that impact as well. But he's just a very solid, but also very effective player. Yeah,
you talk about his technical skill. I mean, his passing of 17 is quite frankly ridiculous for his age, even at 23 years old. And then you've got here his first touch of 16 as well. So it's really interesting to see how he's gonna bring that technical skill to the fore in a group that if the matches are going to be as tight as we think they are, how he's going to be able to find the time and the space to be able to really bring the best of those technical attributes.
But it seems like there's a lot of attacking teams in that group as well, so it might actually even work in his favour and afford him more space to get forward. So it depends how that group's going to play out, because they are evenly matched teams, but I feel like a lot of the teams have really set out to attack, and so there might be spaces and gaps for him to exploit like he does at club level.
Well, that's what we want to see, isn't it? Attacking football all the way through the tournament. Now let's take a look at Keita Balde. Now this is a player that has really progressed through the last couple of seasons. You know, he was in Italy, did very, very well in Italy, moved to France, has carried on that form there. Is it beyond the realms of possibility that he'll step up another level on the international stage and deliver a big performance at this tournament?
Well, he's playing in a really dangerous attacking front three. His role probably off the left, like he does at club level.
Yeah.
Cutting inside, he's really, really dangerous goal threat and scores a lot for a wide player. But he's really quick, dribbles really well, got all those prerequisite skills, those all-round skills that you want. A goal-scoring winger, they're really important. Players that can, you know, take some of the burden off your main striker and can hit the score sheet and not get stuck out wide and can really bring the attack together on goal, which is the most important thing. Going out wide can be good, but you can get stuck there and crosses, and crosses aren't the most effective way of scoring as well. So he'll be important as a goal scoring threat.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about dynamic attacking line, and they are such a strong presence going forward. I mean, they're another side that like to play constant attacking football and really don't ever, you know, pay too much attention to defence. It's all about trying to score as many goals as possible, and I think Keita Balde is going to be a massive help for them, as you said. I mean, his acceleration of 16, pace of 16, dribbling 15, finishing 14. So he's got all the attributes you need in order to have an impact from out on the wing. And I think if he can get started and those front three can link up together really well,
yeah, that's going to be the key.
They could even win the group. It's not out of the question that they're going to.
It is a really open group. Really open group.
And I mean, if they do win the group, then you know, it does open up the massive possibility of them going deep into the tournament, which would be incredible for such a, you know, not a unestablished nation, but a relatively new nation in terms of competing at international tournaments. It's going to be fascinating to see if those front three can click. So sticking with this team, we've got ISMAILA SARR now, who is a player that really, you know, he's a very similar type of player to Balde, but also he just shows a bit of the depth that they have in the squad, and if called upon from the bench, he can step into and fulfil a similar role.
Yeah, and in that final group stage, if they do really well in the first two games and have some breathing space, another chance that they can rotate, play the same system, and just go from there. So yeah, he'll look to, as the same type of player, look to cut inside, use his speed, and look to get in on goal. Yeah,
I mean, you look at his attributes are very similar reading to what we just saw with Keita Balde. You know, you've got acceleration of 15, pace of 15, dribbling of 14. So he is almost of the same mould. And that must be a dream for a manager on that scenario where you're looking at the bench and you think, okay, you know, one of my star players is waning a little bit, maybe feeling the effects of having played, you know, 2 matches in quick succession. I want to throw this guy.
And you don't have to change everything. It's just a like for like, go with the same thing, but you can just throw a player on and know that you're going to be playing the same sort of football and you can stay comfortable in that system.
And that's often the key, isn't it? At these tournaments where you don't really have time to implement a deeply technical system, but you have a system that works, that you've worked on through qualifying, you bring it to the tournament, you just want players who can slot into those gaps. And I think that could be a real advantage for them. Yeah, exactly. If they are going to challenge in this group. Moving on, let's talk about Yerry Mina now. This is this player who's obviously been the subject of a big move last summer, and at club level he's still finding his feet a little bit, but at international level he does seem to be, you know, asserted as the #1 defender for his nation. So he's going to have a bit more confidence, I think, at this tournament than he would do having come off the back of the domestic season at club level. Yeah,
he was really highly rated coming out of South America, earned his move, but I think he'll feel a lot more comfortable coming back to the international scene where he's a little bit more experienced than he is in the big European leagues, comfortable surroundings, and he's got a really diverse skill set that's like pretty exceptional for a centre-back, really physically strong, quite tall, mobile, and is comfortable on the ball, playing out. He's just a nice varied skill set for a team that's going to need some strong defending if they want to get out of a really attacking tough group.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, you talk about his physicality. He's quite an imposing figure, isn't he? Because you've got, you know, as illustrated here, he's got a strength of 16. You know, he's 193 centimetres, so he's very tall. He's heading his 16, so he's good in the air. And that can really be the difference, I think, particularly when, you know, there might be a situation where, particularly maybe in the third group game, if things play out where if it's going to be as tight as we think it is and everyone's still got something to play for in that third group game, players maybe shoving balls into the box as often as they can, really driving men forward, and he's going to have to deal with, the aerial threat. Try, as you say, if he's comfortable on the ball as well, he can maybe look to start a counter-attack from that, and they could look to feed some of their potent attacking threats they've got as well. So I think he's going to have quite a big role to play, and it'd be interesting to see if he can recover from
club form and go back to what he was 6 months ago when he was dominating in South America and really earning his plaudits for his play there.
Yeah, well, let's hope so for his country's sake. So our next player, Yoshinori MUTO, is a player that's very close to my heart. I mean, he was exceptional on my FM17 save, actually, and he scored, I think it was something like 45 goals a season for me. So I'm expecting big things from him at this tournament. You've studied him quite closely. What can you tell us about him?
Well, it's quite funny that you say 45 goals because he's not really known as the best finisher. He's more of a mobile forward that likes to get himself around. He'll press, he'll drift into the channels and try and be one of those decoy style of players. Quite tidy on the ball, does all the right things, but doesn't really stand out in a certain area.
Yeah, I think that's pretty true of what you can see here with his attributes. He's got very good scores in certain areas. His acceleration's 16, for example. His finishing is 15, despite what we've heard there. I mean, what can I say? I was hoping it was my managerial prowess that turned him into a striking god, but never mind. One that stands out to me most particularly is his work rate at 17. Like you say, if he's going to be moving around, if he's going to be trying to create openings for his teammates, that's going to be one of the most important aspects of his game. And if he can really bring that out, I think that could be a really
and pressure defensively, especially if they want to play that expansive attacking game. If they're pressing half the pitch, it then brings their other attackers into the game if they can win the ball back quickly and in their attacking half.
Yeah, indeed, and then I think that's this team's strength is predominantly in the attacking half of the pitch, so they're going to want to recycle the ball quickly and get it back to the main threat rather than putting pressure on the defence against, quite frankly, some pretty decent strike forces in this group. So if they can avoid that pressure, I think that will really be a massive help to their chances.
And it's all up for grabs in this group. All up for grabs.
It's a lottery. We're looking forward to this one a lot. But that is it for the series. Unbelievably so. We profiled all of the groups and given you some top tips as to who to look out for this summer. And if you do have any feedback for us, whether you think we've hit the mark or if you think we've missed it by a country mile, then please do let us know, and we'll do our best to read them, no matter how difficult it is to do so. And don't forget, of course, that Football Manager 2018 is available right now on sale at up to 66% off. It really is the bargain of the summer. And as I said earlier, of course, the FM Instagram competitions continue to be giving away prizes every single day of the tournament. There's going to be more to come in the weeks following, and we've already given away some absolutely great prizes. So get involved, and who knows, you could be getting a lovely little prize to take home during the summer. And my thanks, of course, to Steve, who's been here all the while profiling these groups with me. Do go and check out Scattered Football on Twitter, and it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me.
We hope you guys enjoy the summer of football, and we'll see you very, very soon. If you want to find out more about any of the players featured in today's episode, then go and download FMDB, which is available now on iOS and Android.